Sticking your head in the sand's not going to help.
That doesn't help.
But you do need to find something to focus on.
Something that...
You need to develop the critical thinking to think outside the box.
Something that's still valuable for you in your life. Something that is your purpose. Something that's your direction. Don't give it up. Don't go, okay, I postpone it. For how long? For the rest of your life? For what? No, still find that purpose, that direction. Let's go. Why did you want to earn money in the first instance? What's important to you? It's your life, it's maybe lifestyle, maybe your children, maybe your family, your loved ones, your health. That's still important. That's still important. Pursue it, follow it. Now, how are you going to do that? Maybe you want to, okay, I'll make a decision, okay, I'll step out of my comfort zone, okay, I'll do it. I get it. They're hammering me with this one, okay, I'll do it, I'll step out of the comfort zone. Now what, how do I do this? Maybe you don't know how, maybe you don't have new strategies, maybe you don't have new skills. Then learn them. Geez, there's so much information around it, there's so much availability. Just learn new skills, learn what you need.
Stepping outside of the comfort zone is not something that's easy. Because even though it is upsetting your comfort by definition. It's not something that's easy, but it is something that's necessary. Stepping outside of the current box of thinking that you find yourself in is something that's absolutely necessary. You need to develop the skills to think differently. And I mean critically from the ways of the world. You need to be able to look at, see, one of the things I ask myself a lot of times is, what will happen if this happens? And then I ask myself, what won't happen if this happens? And then I ask myself, what will happen if this doesn't happen? And then I ask myself, what won't happen if it doesn't happen? Yeah? And that's just 4 questions. You need to develop a series of questions whereby you can think outside the box that is currently provided for you. Because if you don't start thinking outside the box that's currently provided for you, you'll get what everybody else in the box gets. And right at this point, I don't like being...
We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, if you get what everybody else in the box gets, it's currently nothing.
But this is the advice you're being given. If you look for the expert advice.
This is good advice? Oh yeah, sure, I'm going to go.
Like, that's going to help.
Give me a break.
Yeah, I'm looking for advice and that's what I get. Whoa, that was good.
It's self-certain.
Totally. So what's the answer?
What's the answer? First thing, make a decision. First thing, you need to arrive at the point you make a decision that you need to change something and you need to take the power back. That's what it begins. That's the first thing you need to do.
Yeah. Now,
next thing.
What's the second thing? Now that you've made that decision, what do? You
need to acquire
new resources.
Maybe new strategies that you haven't used in the past.
Because you're where you are. You're where you are because of the resources you haven't had yet. Does that make sense? You're where you are because of the resources you haven't used.
And notice where you're lacking resources. Notice what's missing. It may be simple skills in marketing. It may be skills in advertising. I don't know. It may be inner skills. It may be new ways of thinking so that you can step outside the box.
Maybe you want to stop working for that big corporation and go out on your own. By the way. I got to tell you 2 things. It's much better to work for yourself
in these times. Because you don't fire yourself, you know?
No. Think of our friend in Australia that we just told you about.
Yeah.
She was the highest producing person. Now I'm going to tell you what she's about to do. She was the highest producing person in that company. And the guy fired her because she was the newest.
And we called her on the phone to empathize.
We called her on the phone, we said, oh, this is too bad.
And we expected her to be...
And she was in a totally positive state. She says, you know what? She said, I know so much about this business, I'm going to open my own. I know what she said? Nobody can fire me.
And she said, maybe I'm not going to make that much money in the first months as I made from that corporation, but it's going to be mine.
Yeah. Nobody can fire you. Nobody can fire you when you work for yourself. And we're not saying you should work for yourself. What we are saying is you should get, step number 2 is to get resources. You need to get the resources, whatever that means. She already had resources to open her own, it was a headhunting firm. Yeah? She already has resources to open her own headhunting. That's easy for you to say. Headhunting firm. She has the resources to open her own headhunting firm, and she's ready to go.
So you need to acquire that something that you feel you're lacking that will allow yourself to implement the decision you just made.
I read 250 books on hypnosis. That's how I got to know hypnosis. Because by the way, of those 250, 100 of them are no good. They're crap. They're not worth reading. I'll tell you that in advance. But
stay your 100 books.
Yeah. But there's at least 100 of them that are worth reading.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in any subject. It's the same thing. So what do you read? First, if you want to be an expert in the field, read something about something. Read a book. Read 2 books.
Now, if you want to have a healthy mind, just please remember that you have to take care of also of your healthy body. You can't put junk in your body and pretend it's not happening, and pretend that it's okay, and pretend you don't know it's junk, and expect to have a healthy mind. Read and be informed. The internet nowadays has a wealth of information. Did you know that the bottled water, I'm not talking about fluoride, I'm not talking about pesticides, I'm talking about the effect of the plastic on the water, which mimics the effect of estrogen. So men and women in our society are estrogen dominant. Do you know what estrogen does to you? It makes you placid and moody.
Moody? How can you say that?